According to the news, Paul Manafort, he was a supporter of the Trump campaign, has a little influence with the Trump circles, who was convicted on all 8 felony accounts of bank and tax fraud, federal fraud, and this guy, he obtained like at least 15 million, actually 60 million dollars of the bank loans, and it was unpaid taxes. Now back in 2014 as well, he was a huge New York Yankees fan. He accumulated $210,000 of credit card bill that was unpaid for. Right, he was a season ticket holder. They say he lifted up his lavish lifestyle. Now he used to come from the 2010, 2014. He used to be an advisor for the Ukrainian president, and he obtained, like, a lot of money over that particular time, over $15 million. He bought with the U.S. bank loans, man, and he actually invested in the landscaping projects of the Hamptons in New York, which is a very expensive, lavish place. I mean, he spent like $15,000 on an Outrich jacket. Okay, I mean, he had an affluent lifestyle, so he wanted to continue to live it and lavish it. So they convicted him. He was in Alexandria, Virginia. His wife was attending in the courthouse on the front row, and he's 69 years old, and they say it's still a huge prospect that he may spend the rest of his life in prison. Now, he hasn't been convicted to any other type of accounts, but that's on for a later trial in Washington. But it's just gonna say, man, it's falling apart, man. I mean, it is what it is, man. It's falling apart. They have no type of evidence of where he had some type of influence with the Russian election and the 2016 midterm election. But yeah, man, it's a really sad thing. But Paul Manafort, it's just gonna show you that in Americans, we always try to keep up with the Joneses. We always want, a lot, not all of us, but majority of us, a lot of us. I think we just want this lifestyle, even sometimes in the boomer generation, man. Even though for the most part they just want to, just chill and just relax and enjoy the fruits of their labor. They don't want to go out here continuously again if they don't have to, like work if they don't really have to. But if you're in a position that you have to, then it is what it is. And I just think that, of course, when you have a bank loan, for him to have access to that, you have to pay the money back. I mean, the banks is really not going to give you any type of loan unless they know for sure that you have a written business plan that they're going to get this money in a certain particular time when you write out a contract. So when you present yourself. But with this, man, I mean, yeah, you just got to be accountable for your actions, man. I hope this will be like little learning lessons for different politicians, though. But even though politicians, man, they really benefit off the taxes, and we have to pay taxes according to our amendment in order to balance out the economy. Even though we are like in, I almost say like $20 trillion in debt, but Paul Manafort, I'm pretty sure he had a great career, but it goes to show you that. I don't know, man. It's like when you make it in life, in your mid-age or you're in your winter years, you still should be like a leader in a way, or you should teach individuals on how to invest in their money and what to do, what's right, because you are coming up in your 20s or 30s, 40s, if that, you're reaching your peak, and then you get into a middle age and you do something very irresponsible like this. It's just smuggling things and not being accountable for your money. What you teach the young generation in a way. And so I feel like this was kind of like a huge division between the young generation and the older generation, because we do what the older generation do sometimes, man. I mean, we kind of look up to them in a way as we navigating through life on a day-to-day basis. Someone who works a 9 to 5 and invests in their 401k over the years, living below their means, and once a bank loan might get denied, and then they get discouraged, right? But compared to someone who just works in government, or who doesn't work in government, but they may have a lot of influence or whatever, they might have some different connections, they easily accessible to have a bank loan, but they don't do right with the money. And so it kind of discourages an individual to like maybe start businesses or to take people in leadership serious, even though in the Bible it tells us to yield to authority, to submit to them. That's what it means. Now understand that they have all the power, but we have the power within us. But with this situation, I just feel like Paul Manafort, if it's true or not, man, you can't get away with this, man. At the end of the day, you gotta be responsible, and you gotta do better with that. Now I don't understand if he was going through a midlife crisis in this point, or he's just like, hey, I'm of age, I'm almost 70 years old, I'm just gonna live it up, I don't care. And who is to say that someone looks up to him as a role model, like, wow, man, I can't believe Paul Manafort did that. Now if I get into position in the government, should I do the same thing? But at the same time, I'm glad they're gonna punish him to the extent of the law. Maybe he can understand himself and read, meditate, and not just commit the same mistakes again if he doesn't spend the rest of his life in prison. But I just think about all that, man. You know, you gotta live below your means. You gotta be humble. Matthew 23:12, when it says that, you know, those who humble themselves will be exalted. Those who exalt themselves will be humble. You know, and you know when Apostle Paul was writing letters for Corinthians, he was going to detail that don't look up to human beings. Don't look up to human leaders. Do not worship them. You only worship God. You can praise them. You can admire what they do. At the same time, everything is inside you. So stop looking outside yourself. And maybe this is probably one of the things, I don't really have too many role models in a way, because of course humans are not perfect. They can always find a way to slow you down or just be contradicting in a way. And that's why you only look up to God and the Heavenly Father and be self-sufficient and rely on Him and His Word and meditate on it. But with Paul Manafort, you can read a story on this. It's a huge conflict, man, between the millennials and the boomer generation in a way. And I'm not saying every boomer generation is doing this. You got boomer generations that's starting out charity deals, that's mentoring young men on a day-to-day basis. But with this, that's broadcasting the mass media. It's like, you know, who do you trust? Who do I look up to? This is not a good representation. But I'm not going to draw this too long. I'm not going to ramble too much. You guys continue to like, comment, subscribe, share this video. I love you guys, man. Enjoy the rest of your day. Enjoy your Wednesday. Just be positive. Continue to be prosperous. I love you, man. That's all I have to say, and this is my view on the story. All right, deuces.